Thanks for joining the 7 Mindsets training. We want to walk through briefly with you what this looks like in our school and how you can incorporate it into your classroom. We want to start with, do your students want what you're offering, and how altering your mindset and that of your students can change the approach to school as a whole. So let's start here. If your answer to the question, do your students want what you're offering, is anything other than yes, and I am pumped to bring it to them, let's start there. Think about, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Why do you teach? Why do you work with students? Then let's think about what can make you forget your why. Is it busyness? Is it a tough student? Monotony? A personal situation? What makes you forget why you do what you do? And what does it look like when I forget my why? When I'm overwhelmed, when I'm frustrated, or just bored with what I'm working on? And how does this show? How does it play out in our classrooms, in our conversations with students, or our phone calls with learning coaches? Let's take a minute for self-reflection, and let's take a pulse on our own mindset. If you will, where you are, pull out a pen and a piece of paper and number 1 through 20. I'll briefly go through the questions, but please mark your answer. Number 1, I expect to be happy and successful in life. Number 2, I am passionate about my life and work. Number 3, I am open-minded and accepting of all people. Number 4, I believe that I am the only one that controls the outcomes in my life. Number 5, I am grateful and practice gratitude daily. Number 6, I am not comfortable asking others for support. Number 7, I live in the moment and embrace the beauty around me. Number 8, I am imaginative and utilize my creativity daily. Number 9, I spend most of my time with people who support me. Number 10, if I don't do well the first time, I don't want to try again. Number 11, I tend to be tough on myself. Number 12, I am making a difference with my life. 13, I do not act out of anger, frustration, jealousy, or greed. 14, I stay positive in times of adversity. 15, I have strong values and live by them daily. 16, I thank people even for the little things they do. 17, I am a kind and giving person. 18, receiving recognition from others is important to me. 19, I regularly seek ways to help others. 20, I face my fears and limiting beliefs head on each day. So what does this mean? If most of your responses are disagree, strongly disagree, or even neutral, that may indicate that your mindset could use a tune-up, and the message your students and families are receiving may not be as positive as it can be. So let's break it down, and let's think about this from the student perspective and the staff perspective while reviewing this short video. And an extra challenge as we go through the video, think of a student you've had who falls into each category, and also think about what type of student you were in school.
Select these levels of engagement in less than 5 minutes, I promise. If you watch this scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you'll notice that even in the midst of a boring lesson, none of the students are actually misbehaving. They're quiet. Nobody's tossing spitballs or playing those paper football games or checking their cell phones because, well, the cell phones back then were the size of a brick. Remember the Zach Morris phone. But most of the students are essentially following the rules. They aren't engaged. But what are they? Well, some seem to be retreating. A few seem to be playing the game of school, but nobody is actually committed to the learning.
Anyone?
Well, here's where Schlechty's levels of engagement becomes helpful. It provides a useful framework for thinking about what it means for students to be genuinely engaged in their learning. Schlechty defines it this way. Engagement is active. It requires the students to be attentive as well as in attendance. It requires students to be committed to the task and find some inherent value in what he or she is being asked to do. The engaged student not only does the task assigned, but also does the task with enthusiasm and diligence. In 2002, Philip Schlechty developed a framework for thinking about student engagement based on two core ideas of attention and commitment. At the bottom, you have rebellion, which involves diverted attention and no commitment to the task. This is the student who seems to be acting out and causing disruptions, and as a result, they fail to learn from the task. Next, you have retreatism with no attention and no commitment. Unlike the rebellion, this student in retreat is not actively disrupting the learning, but instead seems to be kind of checked out. This student is often distracted and emotionally withdrawn from the task, and as a result, this student learns little or nothing from the task. At the next level, you have ritual compliance. This involves both low attention and low commitment. Unlike retreatism, a ritually compliant student doesn't completely check out, but instead is doing the bare minimum to avoid confrontation. This student will learn at a low level, and the task will not be retained over time. Next is strategic compliance. Often this looks like engagement because the student might be performing at a high level, but it's not. Here the student has high attention on the task, but low commitment to what he or she is doing. This is the student who is playing the game of school, focused on things like grades, parental approval, rewards, and class rank. But the learning isn't intrinsically rewarding, and as a result, this student will often learn at a high level, but fails to retain the learning over time or transfer it to a new context. And then finally, you have engagement. This requires both high attention and high commitment. Here, a student completely buys in out of a strong sense of intrinsic motivation, and this includes meaning and choice and challenge. This student will continue focusing even when the task gets more complex and challenging, and often they're going to choose to learn even when it is ungraded. This student will learn at a deep level, and the transfer will continue to new contexts. And this is why it's important that we as teachers focus on how to make the subject intrinsically engaging. And this happens when we tap into student curiosity and creativity and purpose. And when this happens, students are more likely to grow into passionate, lifelong learners.
So let's look at how this plays out. At the bottom, we see the rebellion category, where the student attention is diverted and they don't have a commitment to what they're learning. Retreatism is above that, with little attention, but no commitment. Ritual compliance, showing low attention and low commitment. That's the student who's playing the game of school. They may look like they're checking the boxes and completing the items you're requesting, but they're not learning. Strategic compliance is high attention, but low commitment. They may seem as though they're engaged and doing what you're asking, but they're not engaged in school. Engagement, the top category, shows high attention and high commitment. Those are the students who are intrinsically engaged in learning and who want to learn. Next, we want to talk about the shift in learning. Again, think about this from the student perspective and from the staff perspective.
I often talk about what it means to move from compliance to engagement. It's the idea of creating an environment where students want to learn rather than have to learn. But if we want students to be creative, self-directed learners, we need to move beyond student engagement and into empowerment. But this requires some paradigm shifts. That's right, we are going to be talking shift. Here's what I mean. The empowered classroom is a shift from giving choices to inspiring possibilities. It's a shift from making the subject interesting into tapping into the student interest. When you go from saying, you must learn this, to asking, what do you want to learn? It's a shift from taking assessments to assessing your own learning. An iterative process full of mistakes that ultimately lead to success. It's a shift from the teacher asking all the questions to the students asking their own questions, where they chase the inquiry process and take learning off-road. Consuming to critical consuming and creating. Here students move from critical consuming to inspiration to creativity, where they use the design process to launch their work to the world. It's a shift from differentiating instruction to personalizing learning. And it's a shift from rigid to adjustable systems so that students own the process. They can set their own pace, choose their own formats, and decide what resources they want to use to accomplish their goals. It's a shift in mindset from compliance to self-direction. In other words, it's a shift towards student ownership. And when that happens, our students become the creative critical thinkers who change the world.
Changing it from students having to learn to students wanting to learn, students being empowered and taking the direction for themselves. And I think that is the art of an impactful teacher. Take a minute and think about an impactful teacher that you had in your schooling. Maybe they made you become a teacher. Maybe you were inspired by them and their example. Can you remember a lesson in which a passionate teacher was able to effectively convey their excitement to you and made you want to learn? Take a minute and think on that. It really is all about our mindset. So what is 7 Mindsets? 7 Mindsets was started by a group of folks who were able to convey the information through studies and research that they had done. This is from 7 Mindsets. It is a research effort that began with a comprehensive study of prominent, happy, and successful individuals in order to identify and understand their defining characteristics. We then reviewed existing philosophies and noted research efforts to augment and expand upon initial conclusions. Lastly, we tested, validated, and observed with the thousands of individuals we work with each year. Eventually, we recognized that what permeated all the major studies, philosophies, and lives of prominent, happy, and successful people were a set of specific thought processes and approaches to life. The final conclusion of our efforts was that it wasn't who people were, where they were from, or even what they knew, but how they thought that factored most significantly into their attainment of fulfilled, meaning, successful lives. The revelation was simple and immediate, that when we removed the extrinsic and focused on the right thinking, true transformation was possible, and the external rewards would fall into place. You have access to the 7 Mindsets portal. The website and invitation code are shown on your screen. These will also be in a survey at the end of this lesson. In the 7 Mindsets portal, you have access to specific courses, you have access to resources and parent resources. So why do we talk about 7 Mindsets? We talk about it to change our mindset before we step inside the classroom so that we can change lives outside the classroom. 7 Mindsets is also a key part of our social emotional learning curriculum required by the state of Ohio. What is social and emotional learning, or SEL? The State of Ohio Department of Education defines it as the process through which children and adults acquire and effectively apply the knowledge, attitudes, and skills necessary to understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. Roughly 98% of those who responded to a survey by the Ohio Department of Education believe that social emotional skills are linked to student success. In 2012, the state rolled out standards that include social and emotional development criteria for children birth through kindergarten, along with implementation guides for teachers and caregivers. In 2015, it was extended to kindergarten through third grade. In 2018, the Ohio Department of Education embarked on implementation for 4th through 12th grades. Ohio Virtual Academy began implementing 7 mindsets at the high school level for the 2017-18 school year, middle school for the 2018-19 school year, and for elementary in grades kindergarten through 5th grade in the 2019-2020 school year. The impact this has already had on our students is evident. We've captured a few quotes from our students to show you here. Riley says, "It's helped me realize how capable I am of doing things." Austin says, "It puts me in a good mood and helps me think about my future." Xavier says, "It has definitely inspired me to do what I love." Nevaeh says, "These 7 Mindsets Class Connects have helped change my life. These sessions have helped me in certain areas of my life that I struggled with and helped me to fix my mistakes and just got me thinking. I love these sessions and would love to keep coming to them." Isaiah says, "It's been a reminder to be responsible and kind." Kylie says, "When I go to 7 Mindsets classes, it always encourages me. They always have quotes and other stuff that motivate and encourage me." So let's walk through the 7 mindsets. In September, we will cover the We Are Connected mindset. The We Are Connected mindset teaches us that everyone who comes into our lives can help us to achieve and live our dreams. Working with, for, and through others is crucial to realizing our dreams. We help students explore synergies with others, embrace diversity, and relish the competition that will allow them to maximize their potential by working alongside others. The We Are Connected mindset includes embrace everyone, maximize positive relationships, build your dream team, and lead with value. In October, we'll cover the 100% accountable mindset. The 100% accountable mindset teaches the importance of being responsible for our own happiness and success. Being 100% accountable means deciding not to be victims of the past and recognizing that the future is not predetermined. We hope to help everyone focus on recognizing our fears and excuses, as well as the importance of breaking down barriers and taking responsibility for our thoughts and actions while taking the critical steps toward our goals. The 100% accountable mindset includes own your life, overcoming limiting beliefs, focus your energy, grow through life. In November, we'll cover the attitude of gratitude. The attitude of gratitude mindset teaches us the importance of seeking the positives from every experience and being thankful for all that we have. Through this mindset, we learn that we can use the positives or the negatives in our lives as the foundation on which to build. Choose the positives and we're on our way toward extraordinary success. Choose the negatives and we embark on a path toward disappointment and resentment. In these lessons, we guide students to focus on all the things they have, leaving no time to be distracted by what they don't. Attitude of gratitude mindset includes treasure yourself, be more grateful, Thank it forward and elevate your perspective.
Some time ago, there was a study in which people were asked to spend a few minutes each day writing down things for which they were grateful. Remarkably, the results showed that over time, the participants became happier. Not only that, but their health also improved, and so did their performance at school or work. In fact, the study even showed that expressing gratitude could add 7 years to a person's life. There's a saying, energy flows where attention goes. It means that the things we focus on are the things that receive our energy and gain momentum. This gives you an important choice, to focus on what's negative and allow it to grow, or to direct your energy toward positive things and help them expand. That seems like an easy decision. Take time each day to be grateful. Some things are easy to think of, like family and friends, but others sometimes get taken for granted, like your health, your food, or even the bed you sleep in. Big or small, it's easy to find something to be grateful for. So zero in on it and let it blossom in your life.
In January, we will cover the Everything is Possible mindset. The Everything is Possible mindset teaches us that we are all capable of living extraordinary lives. Students learn that everything which exists today was once just an idea until someone believed it was possible and took the actions to make it into reality. We hope to inspire students to understand the incredible promise of their lives and believe that their goals are possible, and to foster the courage, discipline, and persistence to act on achieving their dreams. The Everything is Possible mindset includes dream big, embrace creativity, think positive, and act and adjust.
Some years ago, some of the most successful people in the world were interviewed about what they would do differently if they could go back to their childhood. You know what their answer was? Dream bigger. That's right. The most successful people in the world believe they didn't dream big enough. Over the course of their lives, they had come to learn that if they had a dream and they believed it was possible, they would actually achieve it. It turned out that the only thing keeping them from achieving even more was their own limiting expectations. Everything that exists today, from cars to airplanes to computers to phones, began as an idea in someone's mind. Then someone said, "It's possible," and "I can do this," and then did. Dream big isn't just about having big dreams, but knowing in your mind you can accomplish them. Remember, our life becomes what we expect it to be.
In February, we'll cover the Passion First mindset. The Passion First mindset teaches us that we are all unique expressions of human existence. It's vital to find out what our individual strengths and talents are so that we might connect them with our goals and visions for the future. The goal is for everyone to understand their unique gifts, their skills and strengths, and how to share them with the world to the maximum extent possible. The Passion First mindset includes focus on your strengths, explore your interests, take a stand, and be authentic. In March, we'll cover the time is now mindset. The time is now mindset teaches us the importance of harnessing the power of the moment and taking purposeful action. The simple fact is that all of our power to act and make an impact exists in this moment. We cannot change the past, and the future hasn't happened. So we must recognize that our only path to happiness, fulfillment, and meaning is to take purposeful action in the present toward creating the lives of our dreams. The time is now mindset includes embrace every moment, get in the zone, let yourself be vulnerable, and act with purpose.
I am part of a lost generation, and I refuse to believe that I can change the world. I realize this may be a shock, but happiness comes from within is a lie. Money will make me happy. So in 30 years, I will tell my children they are not the most important thing in my life. My employer will know that I have my priorities straight because work is more important than family. I tell you this, once upon a time, families stayed together, but this will not be true in my era. This is a quick fix society. Experts tell me 30 years from now, I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. I do not concede that I will live in a country of my own making. In the future, environmental destruction will be the norm. No longer can it be said that my peers and I care about this earth. It will be evident that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It is foolish to presume that there is hope. And this will all be true unless we reverse it. There is hope. It is foolish to presume that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It will be evident that my peers and I care about this earth. No longer can it be said that environmental destruction will be the norm. In the future, I will live in a country of my own making. I do not concede that 30 years from now I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. Experts tell me this is a quick fix society, but this will not be true in my era. Families stayed together once upon a time. I tell you this, family is more important than work. I have my priorities straight because my employer will know that they are not the most important thing in my life. So in 30 years, I will tell my children money will make me happy is a lie. Happiness comes from within. I realize this may be a shock, but I can change the world, and I refuse to believe I am part of a lost generation.
Our last mindset of the school year is Live to Give. We'll cover that in May. The Live to Give mindset teaches the importance of serving others while maximizing our own potential. It tells us that abundance in life is a cycle. In order to receive love, respect, and security, we must first learn to give those things to others. This mindset also teaches us that the greatest gift we can ever give is to find and leverage our unique genius to maximize our positive impact on the world, knowing that good things will be returned to us in kind. We hope that everyone will think about the impact they want to make and the legacy they want to leave. The Live to Give mindset includes stretch yourself, make a difference, receive gracefully, and leave a legacy.
Did you ever see a raindrop fall into a pool or pond? It causes ripples that flow outward in every direction and seem to go on forever. The same thing happens when you give of yourself. Tiny acts of kindness ripple outward, spreading and impacting the lives of people you may have never even met. Most people want to be successful in life, but not everyone thinks about being significant. Successful people may have money and power, but significance means leaving a lasting impact on people for years to come. When you help someone live a better life, you make the world a better place forever. It's that simple, because the person you helped can then provide even more help to others. And those people are then better able to have a greater impact as well. It ripples outward forever. Think about your goals and dreams and make sure to connect them with the impact you'd like to have and the legacy you'd like to leave. As the saying goes, be the change you want to see in the world.
Which brings us to the Ohio Virtual Academy Hope and Kindness Initiative.
Well, we believe that we're all in this together. We also think that Ohio Virtual Academy can make an impact in our culture simply by spreading kindness and hope. We know that kindness should be a lifestyle, not something reserved for special occasions. You are not the worthy recipient of good things because of what you have or have not done. You're worth it just because you're you.
We want to nix the idea that people deserve kindness based on some sort of merit system. Your worth is intrinsic. You were made with great purpose and with great care. With person on earth was made with such incredible excellence and importance, not because of the put in, but because that's how it's intended to be. The end. No more, no less. No hidden requirements, no strings attached. You're known and seen and noticed. You are worth it just because you were designed that way, and so is everyone else.
The OHVA Hope and Kindness Initiative is an all-out effort to spark a wave of kindness all around us. If each of us will go out of our way to be kind just a few times a month, we can bring 180,000 acts of kindness in a year. Our OHVA family can impact individuals and our culture with kind acts that show we really are all in this together.
Are you the giver or recipient of an act of kindness? Tell us about it below. Want to read some of the stories we've already received? That's below too.
In a nutshell, through the website listed at the bottom right-hand side of your screen, you'll be able to find printable cards that can be easily printed through the school computer. You'll also find a link to request cards on the website. We're also on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We have an email address as well. All of those items will be found on the Hope and Kindness website at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You can also go on to the OHVA webpage, and we're under the Get Involved section. You'll see us right down there under Hope and Kindness. So take a minute and think about what we can do to help you bring these ideas to life in your classroom. My email address is here at the bottom of the page. If you have any questions, need any help, or need some ideas, please feel free to email me. Thank you so much for completing this training on 7 mindsets and the impact that we can have for our students this year. Please get excited about the difference you get to make.